What's up, of Sportsman? It's Lamont. We back with another podcast episode. Today we got to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Mostly about Giannis, though. Our thoughts on him, his performance this year, and just the trajectory of his career in the NBA. Before we get started with today's video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. Grinding 30K, 50K, 100K subscribers. But you know what? We appreciate you guys for helping this channel grow. Sharing the videos, engaging in the videos, commenting, watching, doing all, just showing up to the lives. Not just showing up, but also supporting the channel. Salute to you guys, all right, for helping the channel along in that as we push towards 30K subscribers. We should be there pretty soon. But we got to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because there's just one element out of all of this. You know, there's just one element out of all this that really nobody is really entertaining. Nobody's entertaining this particular discussion. You hear a lot of conversations because you hear a lot of people switching up, right? They're flip-flopping on their stances. Now they're saying Giannis is the best player in the league, which, okay, that's a fair assessment. That's a fair argument. You know what? But a lot of the people that are labeling Giannis the best player in the league, those are the type of fans that as soon as they see the next best thing next year, because let's say Giannis doesn't win it next year. What if Luka has a crazy season and wins it all? Will they just jump out and start to claim that Luka is now the best player in the league? So you see a lot of up and down fanfare surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo. The performance was just unbelievable. I mean, 50 points in a closeout game to close out the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the Phoenix Suns just didn't have an answer for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, the way he looked, to me, at the start from Game 3 on, it looked as if something just clicked in Giannis Antetokounmpo and basically just said, you know what? They can't really guard me. I think something clicked for Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks that basically said, I think we just lost those first two games. I don't think they really won them. I think we just gave them away. Bad decision making, bad plays, bad execution, especially late in game. I think they came out and just made a conscious effort to avoid massive mistakes and collapses. And that's what we saw when we saw Coach Bud move Middleton to as the primary ball handler, took Drew Holiday, who was making horrible decisions at the point guard, put him in the background, just allowed him to defend and go score. That pick and roll with Middleton and Giannis just looked unstoppable. And, you know, when we look at Giannis Antetokounmpo's career, and I'm going to continue to say this, I'm not going to run out there. I'm not going to jump out on a tangent and say, oh, he's the best player in the league and this, that, and the other. But there's one thing that's unavoidable that we need to discuss. And it's basically his career trajectory. Because Giannis Antetokounmpo, with regards to just singular accomplishments, I have this graphic here to help you out. At the same age and about the same amount of years in the NBA, he's accomplished more than two players that many people that can be considered either 1, 2 in the NBA all time in NBA history. A lot of people have LeBron James in their top 5, if not at 1. All right. Same thing with Michael Jordan. A lot of people have Michael Jordan at number 1 all time. If he's not number 1, they usually have him in the top 5 somewhere. But it's overwhelmingly favors these two players, LeBron James and Michael Jordan. These are the two players that names are brought up as the greatest of all time. And if you look at what Giannis Antetokounmpo has done so far in his career, right, at the same time, about the same time in all of their careers, Giannis is already an NBA champion, a Finals MVP, a 2-time league MVP, 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 1-time All-Star Game MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, and 4 times All-Defensive Team. With also, he also won the Most Improved Player. I mean, that's something that obviously Jordan and LeBron never could have touched because they came out and just hit the ground running. So obviously, Most Improved Player wasn't really an award that was relegated to them. But even when you look at Giannis, that's just another accolade you can add and amass to the stack that he's already collected. I mean, just looking at accomplishments, he's done more in the NBA in less time. And you know what? A lot of people say you really have to kind of chalk up Giannis Antetokounmpo's first 2-3 years in the league because his body wasn't even physically ready for the NBA. He was still developing. All right. Once he got into the weight room, added weight, all right, added that physicality that he now brings to the game, that's when we saw Giannis start to blossom. 2016, 2017 season. When Jason Kidd was fired and Coach Bud was brought in, this is when we saw Giannis Antetokounmpo really open his game up. All right, you're talking about a 7-footer that can bring the ball up. You're talking about a 7-footer that shoots threes. You're talking about a 7-footer that can take the best guards in the league defensively off the dribble from the three-point line. He can finish over any center, right? He can finish around any center. It doesn't matter what you throw at him. I mean, even now when teams try to build the wall, what do we see? Oh, he now has added the footwork to his package where he can be elusive. We don't see him amassing as many offensive fouls. You know what? And you got to think this time last year, what were the detractors saying about Giannis? Oh, he needs to get a jump shot. Oh, he needs to add a jump shot to his game so the Bucks can win. Oh, they need to trade Chris Middleton. Oh, they can't win. Giannis needs to demand a trade. He needs to get up out of there. All of the detractors, again, just a year ago, the detractors were taken away from this man's game just because the team did not have a lot of playoff success. Obviously, they've had their failures, but when you look at guys like LeBron and Jordan, those guys had growing pains in the playoffs as well. They had their own growing pains. Right? Does not detract from who they are or where they rank in NBA history, but if you just look at the trajectory, all right, just looking at these stats, if Giannis continues to add to this list of accolades year by year by year, and the only reason why we can assume that he will is because every single year in the NBA, he's gotten better. He has not had a letdown year. He's not had a year where he was just subpar. Every single year in the NBA, he's gotten better. Whether it's something that he added to his game offensively or defensively, he's improved. If that continues and he just simply only improves his game from here on out, we can only expect more accolades, more playoff success, more finals MVPs and championships here to come. I mean, he already now has one chip. Right now, his accolades are fine. His accolades, he's probably gonna surpass LeBron and Jordan and some of these more minute accolades. He's probably gonna be able to catch them in MVPs. All right, he's gonna be able to catch these guys. All right. You know, some people are going to hold the scoring title. Like, I don't think Giannis is going to be able to get the scoring titles that Jordan has. But, you know, ultimately, Giannis is still a dynamic scorer. He's still a great scorer. He can still give you 30 a game. He just does it different. And that's one thing. But you know what? When I say that he has the opportunity to be the GOAT, I'm not saying that Giannis has the opportunity to be the best player in the league. I'm not here making a statement saying that Giannis is the best player in the league. I'm saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo, if he continues on this path, if he continues on this trajectory of career success, of improving every single year, Giannis Antetokounmpo will be the greatest player of all time in the NBA. And there will be no question about it. There will be no question about it. If Giannis wins 2 more championships, where is he in your top 15? Because 2 more championships puts him in the top 15. Because 2 more championships is also going to mean 2 more finals MVPs. 2 more championships is also probably going to mean another MVP or 2 added to that list. Also a defensive player of the year potentially. More all NBA teams. All of these accolades are just going to continue to stack up. And he's only 26. All right. I don't expect to see a major decline until he's 31 or 32. That's if he even starts to decline. And if he's elevated and advanced his game to any degree, what we can expect is we can expect for Giannis to at least have a jump shot to combat aging. As we know, when players age, you lose that athleticism, you lose that edge that you have right now. What Giannis has athletically is a gift. But it also could be a gift and a curse because with time, that edge subsides, as we see with LeBron James this year. But you know what? Just like I say that Giannis can also be the GOAT, I think Giannis Antetokounmpo made a statement yesterday that leads me to believe that these accolades and these numbers, everything that we see here, it could actually slow down massively. And I'm going to tell you here's why. Giannis made a statement yesterday. Giannis said, he could have went to a super team and just do my part to win the championship. He said, but this is the hard way to do it, and we did it. He's making light of the fact that he didn't need to go to a super team. He didn't need to team up with other all-stars to get his chip. He could do it his own way right here, right there in Milwaukee. And salute to Giannis for doing that, grinding out. He had the opportunity to leave. He could have left. Times got tough. All right, people were really criticizing Middleton. All right, the team, people were really criticizing the team. They were criticizing the team for not making moves. Criticizing Middleton, not showing up. Criticizing Brook Lopez, criticizing him, shooting too many threes. But he stayed, he stuck it out. But what I also feel is as Giannis Antetokounmpo gets older, the one thing that's going to become evident is that he cannot do it by himself. For as good as Middleton is a borderline all-star in this league. Jrue Holiday is a solid player in this league, but he too is also a borderline all-star type of player. And when we see other teams stack and load up, this team, this Milwaukee Buck team, when the Brooklyn Nets were healthy, it didn't look competitive. Are they going to be able to sustain if next year is completely different and these teams find a way to stay healthy? Will Giannis be able to get the MVP? Will he be able to get Defensive Player of the Year? Will these other teams start to diminish the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo? Will something that he takes pride in not wanting to join a super team, will that also be a detriment to this trajectory that we see of him potentially being the GOAT? Because teams are going to gear up. Teams are going to be trying to add more stars. We see the Knicks right now, $50 million salary cap. We know they're ultimately going to try to build a super team in New York. We see the Lakers right now. They're looking to maybe add a Ben Simmons or Russell Westbrook to a LeBron James and an Anthony Davis. All right, we already have a big three. We already have a big three in Brooklyn with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. What he's doing with the way the NBA is designed right now, what Giannis did could be considered an anomaly that can't be duplicated. Is he going to be the Dallas Mavericks of 2011? A great superstar player, got it out the mud, as some might say, didn't need a super team, and they fought themselves to a championship? I want you guys, let me know about this. We have to look at this from both sides. Is Giannis' strategy to stay away from the super team mindset, is that ultimately going to be a stoppage to the trajectory that we see that could lead him to being the GOAT? Because I think if you add another superstar to this particular team, take pressure off Giannis, make the path easier for him to get to more finals and then win more championships, it's going to keep his trajectory going up. But as he gets older, he's going to need more help. And I think the time is now to start in his prime. Not saying that he needs to leave Milwaukee, but if I were Giannis, I would encourage Milwaukee to continuously seek more ways to always improve the team. Don't sit idle. We've seen the Bucks do this before, and it came back to haunt them in the past. Those are my thoughts on Giannis. I just wanted to come with a different take, different approach to this. I mean, Giannis had an all-time great performance in the finals. Your injuries aside, he still showed up and got the job done. Even against a depleted Nets team, it doesn't matter. Even against this Suns team, which many say shouldn't have been there had it been for the injuries, it doesn't matter. He showed up and then showed out when he got there. You got to give him all the credit in the world. So we were just here to talk about how can he maintain this upward trajectory that if it continues to rise, he will be labeled as the GOAT, the greatest player of all time. There's no ifs, ands, or but about it. There's no ducking it. There's no dodging it. Nostalgia may have you tied to Jordan or Kareem. Unfortunately, it's this man right here, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who could throw a monkey wrench into all those plans. All right, but will he do and make the sacrifices that it takes to get there along the way, especially in this era? And everything that I'm saying with regards to him teaming up with another superstar, it's only because of the era that he's playing in. This era that he's playing in, teams are going to revamp. It's not like the 90s where literally teams would come back with the exact same team and try again and then fail like we saw with the Bulls. No, teams are going to get better. The Brooklyn Nets are going to come back better, find ways to be healthy when they meet up. Lakers are going to go into this offseason looking to get better, even though they already have LeBron James and AD. The Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook combination, only going to look to end better. How can they improve that roster? Same with the Sixers. The Sixers are already looking for ways to improve that team. They're actually looking to find a way to add a CJ McCollum without having to give up a Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. There's very intriguing moves out there where teams in the East and the West are going to come back reloaded, bigger and better than before. So again, salute to the Bucks for winning. But will Giannis be a detriment to his own career? He's on a trajectory to be the greatest player of all time. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no one that could question that. But will Giannis, all right, will the ego of wanting to do it by yourself, not wanting to have that superstar help around them, will that be the thorn in Giannis Antetokounmpo's side that stops him from being the greatest NBA player of all time? I want you guys, let me know your thoughts on this topic. If you're a Buck fan, definitely chime in the comments. All right, and when we go live, this is just another topic to add to the bundle of topics that we like to talk about. Make sure when we go live, if you want to talk about it, just hit the StreamYard link, join the panel, and let's chop it up about Giannis Antetokounmpo. As we head into the NBA draft, we're going to really be talking about a lot of these teams, a lot of these players, legacies. I mean, we even got to really talk about Chris Paul. Where's his legacy headed now that he lost in the finals? And this might have been the best chance he had at getting and securing a championship, especially if he stays with the Suns. But we're going to talk about all those things later in our live stream. Salute to everybody for showing up. Thank you for all the Newsbreak watchers, man. I see the engagement. Continue to watch. Make sure you follow us on Newsbreak, FYF Sports, the basement. We drop these videos all the time. Your best sports news coverage in the game. But it's FYF Sports, man, with another great podcast episode. We'll be back with more sports and news later. But until then, it's FYF Sports, and we out.